Hi, I'm Tom Hendrickson from the Agile Online Summit, where we bring great Agilists to the world. And welcome to our Community Spotlight, where we shine the light on the great Agile communities that help promote the summit. Today, we have with us Nermina and Yasmin from Bosnia Agile. Nermina and Yasmin, please introduce yourself to the people here at the Agile Online Summit.
Okay. Thank you for the invitation, first of all. My name is Nermina Durmic. I'm one of the founders of Bosnia Agile Association here that is based here in Sarajevo. A part of being actively involved as a core team member in Bosnia Agile, professionally I work as an Agile coach with software development teams here in IT companies. Mostly as a consultant, and I'm also a professor in IT department here in a local university here in Sarajevo. Yasmin?
First of all, thank you very much, Tom, for having us today. My name is Yasmin Heljic, and I am involved with Bosnia Agile since 2015. Actually, Bosnia Agile was founded in 2014, and when I got that information, I was really delighted because I am interested in Agile since my college days, 15 years ago at the Faculty of Electrical Engineering in Sarajevo. Actually, my graduate thesis was Agile approach as a new way for developing software. So I've been involved with Agile many years.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. And that kind of leads me into my first question. Now, I wanted to get kind of your background, both of you, as you both of you mentioned a little bit, but you guys have been involved in Bosnia Agile for a little while. But talk to us how, for instance, like you guys have been involved for a while, you guys are leaders. Talk to us about Bosnia Agile and kind of how it's grown, because you guys have a unique group there.
Okay. One small correction to what Yasmin said. We actually showed up publicly in 2014. However, the idea came from our colleague Faris in November 2013. He gathered 5 or 6 of us and said, let's, so every country, most of the countries actually, at least here in Europe, they have an association that actually gathers people together to talk about agile practices, to share their experiences, etc. So why don't we do something like that here in Bosnia, because such a community doesn't exist here. So we sat together, we made a plan, and we kicked it off in March 2014 with the Bosnia Agile Kickoff event, and it was very well received. And since then, we remained active through the conference Bosnia Agile Day that we organize every October here in Sarajevo, which is 1 day long event with lots of speakers, local and speakers from many other countries. And that's the event that has been popular in our community for years, for past 7 years, I can say, and it remains visited very much and popular. A part of that, we organize lots of meetups, gatherings, smaller gatherings. We also organize workshops and trainings for Scrum Masters, product owners, Scrum developers, with different lecturers and trainers. So basically, this is what we do. It's important to say that the association is all the founders and the core team members that joined us later on, and Yasmin is one of the most active ones, and we really appreciate having him in the team, is that all of us, we're all volunteers. And we're doing this in our free time, and we're really happy and proud of what the community, Agile community here in Bosnia, in Sarajevo, considering that this is not a full-time job for any of the people.
Yes, I would like to add one more fact. Actually, our goal is to empower our IT community in Bosnia and Herzegovina with this agile mindset. Our engineers and developers, Bosnian engineers, are known as good engineers. So we are trying to help organizations introduce Agile with these custom in-house trainings as well. In the Yugoslav region, our Agile conference is recognized as the leading conference and Agile conference with the longest tradition. So I think that is one of our greatest achievements. And we have excellent collaboration with our neighboring communities from Serbia and Croatia as well.
So you guys are bringing people together, like you said, with this day-long conference that you do. You have a lot of different meetups. Sounds like you are meeting for and helping different communities. Talk to us about kind of how, as you guys have been involved in the group, how you guys have had to maybe change a bit with the community demand.
Well, of course, it's all driven by what companies, IT companies, mostly IT companies, but lately we actually started being recognized. Our work in the community and the Agile community got new members that come from the banking or pharmaceutical companies, which is something that we really are happy about. So it all depends by their demands, like which speakers they want to hear, which experience, because here in Bosnia, we are a small market, we are a small country. Balkan in general, we are a small area in Europe, smaller, but we have the opportunity, thanks to the digital world that we live in today, we have the opportunity to work with all the European and American markets. For that reason, the experience of the Agile experience of our community here is on a very high level, I can say. And when they hear something like a basic introduction lecture in our conference or any of the meetups, they say, just, we heard it, like, why don't you give us something else, something new? So they're pushing us to look for new stuff, for fresh success stories, bigger companies, bigger names. And also individually, it helps each one of us actually to recognize where we are, to construct the work we do, the trainings we deliver. For example, I deliver the Scrum Product Owner training, and Yasmin delivers the Scrum Master class. To organize these activities and the content that we want to share compared to actually what is needed in our community. We actually got to know a lot of people. We got many different kind of opportunities, of course, to for many projects and etc. So networking actually is what we appreciate the most in this community and the work we do.
And in our conference, we bring really good keynote speakers. We were lucky that we have, for instance, Ari van Benekum or Scott Ambler or Dave Snowden, which were well known in their fields. So our attendees on these conferences appreciate that very much. And the feedback is after the conference really good.
So you guys have really done a lot with your community. I want to ask you guys, as community facilitators, what tips would you have for other community facilitators out there to kind of listen and grow their communities like yours?
Yeah, that's an interesting one. So I would say that we do organize lots of different activities, but having or organizing smaller and less formal but frequent and consistent events like Agile Coffee, for example, once a month, or a bit more formal meetups every 1 to 3 months is what works the best to keep the community alive and active, and also for our association to keep us breathing, before the pandemic started, we've been practicing this Agile Coffee every last Thursday in a month. And it's also a reminder for us to complete some tasks that we owe to the community or to each other in the association. So this kind of smaller events is actually what works the best, I would say.
Regarding this coffee, we have in Bosnia tradition of drinking coffee and talking during the coffee time. So we try to make brand from this, and we call it Coffee Agile in French. So this coffee is actually an event without specific rules, but we talk about agile topics. That's the point.
I couldn't pronounce that, so I just said Agile Coffee.
Coffee Agile. I think that's right pronunciation.
That's great. That's great. Now, you kind of mentioned this. We're living in a pandemic, so your group has probably had to change a bit. What types of things have you had to change or kind of adapt to keeping this community in the pandemic?
Yasmin, do you want to actually explain our Bosnia Agile week, online week?
Yes, actually we collaborate online mostly now, and we miss a real face-to-face communication. These coffees. This year our annual conference is organized in non-live format, unlike previous years. We will have 5 days online event. So that's a pandemic reason we are doing this.
So yeah, as all other associations, communities, companies, we're trying to switch online as much as possible. So what we did with Bosnia Agile Day, like Yasmin said, we split it into 5 days and organized Bosnia Agile Week, and we invite everybody who is going to listen to this video. Starting next 19th of October, I think, yes. But also we managed to deliver a few online meetups. However, I have to say, we try to convert, for example, 1-day-long workshops where the active involvement of participants is needed. We try to convert that into the online format. However, in our community, that was not very well received. Our audience still likes to actually have a chance to work with with the colleague face to face. So what we did, instead of having day-long workshops online, we continued having them face to face, but with much smaller groups than we used to have. So we're risking a bit there, but it continues. It's still happening.
Excellent. Well, we appreciate your time. Any closing thoughts?
Any closing thoughts? Well, we're trying to be more agile than we already were. We're trying to, well, I can share like our goals for the future instead of the final thoughts. To spread the Bosnia Agile story across the entire Balkan, for example, to spread the story among together more people, bigger audience, and I thought that's something that will happen in the next few years.
Well, I think that it's very important for all Agilists all over the world. It's important to share knowledge and experiences and to communicate, because that's the most important thing when we are talking about agile mindset. So this interview is one example of that.
Yes. Thanks, Nermina and Yasmin, for coming on. We appreciate your time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
On behalf of Nermina and Yasmin, I am Tom Henriksen for the Agile Online Summit.